Your dog is asleep on the couch beside you. It has a bowl with its name on it, a collar, a favorite bed, its very own doctor. By every definition we humans use, it is a pet. It belongs to you. But here is a question that may stop you in your tracks. Does it know that? Does the creature at your side have any idea that it is, in fact, a pet? That it is owned, kept, and cared for by another species entirely? Or does it understand the whole thing in a way so different from ours we can scarcely imagine? It is one of the most curious questions we can ask about our animals. And the honest answer opens a window into their minds far stranger and far more touching than you might think. So stay with me to the end. Let us begin. At first, the question can seem almost silly. Of course your dog does not know that it is a pet, you might say. It is an animal. And yet, the longer you sit with it, the deeper it seems to go. Because to truly know that you are a pet, you would first have to understand a great many remarkable things. You would have to know that you are a particular kind of creature, a dog or a cat, separate and different from the humans all around you. You would have to grasp the strange idea of ownership, that one living being can somehow belong to another. You would have to understand that your food, your shelter, your entire world is being provided, deliberately, by a species not your own. That is a tremendous amount for any mind to hold. And it turns out that the question of what our animals understand about themselves, about who and what they truly are, is one that scientists have puzzled over for a very long time. The answer, as we will see, is not at all what most people would expect. Let us begin with the very deepest part of the mystery. Does an animal even know that it itself exists? For many years, scientists tried to answer this with a simple and clever experiment, known as the mirror test. They would place a small mark on an animal's body, somewhere it could only ever see in a reflection, and then show it a mirror. If the animal noticed the mark and tried to investigate it on its own body, it was taken as a sign that the creature understood the reflection was, in fact, itself. A handful of brilliant animals passed this test with ease: the great apes, dolphins, elephants, even a certain clever bird, the magpie. But here is the surprising part. Most dogs and cats do not pass the mirror test at all. A dog will often glance at its reflection, decide that it is not especially interesting, and simply walk away. For a while, this was taken to mean that dogs might have little real sense of themselves. But then a wonderful new idea came along. Because a dog, of course, does not experience the world through its eyes the way that we do, it experiences the world through its nose. And when researchers began testing dogs with their own scent instead of their own reflection, something fascinating emerged. The dogs spent far longer investigating a sample of their own smell when it had been secretly altered, as if to say, "That is me, but something about me is different." In their own language, the silent language of scent, dogs may well possess a sense of self after all. We had simply been asking them the question in a language they do not speak. So an animal may, in its own quiet way, have some sense of itself. But does it understand that it is different from us? Does your dog actually know that it is a dog and that you are a human? Here the answer becomes truly intriguing. Because in many ways, our animals do not seem to draw the sharp line between the species that we do. To a dog raised among people from the time it was a tiny puppy, its human family may simply be its family, full stop. Not another kind of creature to be studied, but its people, its group, the ones that it belongs with. Studies do suggest that dogs recognize, on some level, that we are different from them. They behave differently toward humans than they do toward other dogs. And yet, at the very same time, they fold us so completely into their inner circle that the distinction hardly seems to matter to them in the slightest. You are not, in your dog's mind, a strange giant of another kind. You are something far simpler and far dearer than that. You are one of its own. To your dog, its family simply comes in two shapes: the tall ones who walk on two legs, and the ones, like itself, who walk on four. But what about the true heart of the matter? What about the idea of ownership itself, the very notion that lies at the center of what it means to be a pet? Here, almost certainly, the answer is no. And this may be the most freeing thought in this entire journey. Your animal does not know that it is owned. It does not understand the concept of a pet, of a creature that is kept and possessed by another. It has no notion at all that its food was bought, that its home has your name upon it, that in the eyes of the law and the wider world, it is, in some strange sense, your property. None of that exists for them. And when you stop to think about it, there is something quietly beautiful in that. Because it means that when your dog stays faithfully by your side, it is not staying because it knows that it is owned and has no other choice. And when your cat climbs into your lap, it is not doing so out of some dim sense of obligation to the one who fills its bowl. They do not feel owned at all. Whatever it is that truly binds them to us, it is not the invisible leash of ownership. It is something else entirely, something they choose freely, without ever knowing there was supposed to be a cage around it at all. So if they do not understand that they are pets, what do they understand about the lives they live alongside us? The answer is a very great deal. They may not grasp the idea of ownership, but they understand with perfect clarity the reality of care. Your dog knows, deep in its bones, that when it is hungry, food will appear. That when it is cold, there is a warm and waiting place to lie. That when it is frightened, there is a person who can make the fear go away. It understands routine, the gentle rhythm of the day, the hour of the walk, the moment of the evening meal. It understands safety and comfort and the deep, settled peace of knowing that it is being looked after. In other words, your animal may not know the word pet, but it knows something far more important than any word. It knows that it is safe. It knows that it is cared for. It knows, in the wordless way that animals know the truest things, that in this place, with these people, it does not ever have to be afraid. And if this is bringing a smile to your face, take a moment to tap that like button below. It truly helps these gentle explorations reach more people who love their animals just as much as you do. And this leads us to perhaps the most touching idea of them all. If our animals do not see themselves as our pets, then how exactly do they see us? The evidence suggests something rather wonderful. To a dog, in all likelihood, you are family. Scientists have found that the bond between a dog and its owner looks remarkably like the bond between a young child and a parent. In careful studies, dogs behave toward their owners in almost exactly the way that an anxious child behaves toward its mother. They relax and explore the world happily when you are near. They grow worried and unsettled the moment you leave the room. To your dog, you are not an owner at all. You are a safe harbor, a protector, something very close indeed to a parent. And cats, in their own mysterious fashion, may see us through an equally surprising lens. Some experts believe that a cat does not truly regard us as another species at all, but rather as very large, somewhat clumsy fellow cats. When your cat greets you with its tail held high, or gently kneads you with its soft paws, or proudly brings you a little gift, these are the very same things that cats do with the cats they love and trust. Your cat, in other words, may well be treating you as one of its own kind. In both cases, the truth is the same, and it is deeply moving. They have not quietly filed us away as their keepers. They have welcomed us in as their family. And here is a thought that may just make you laugh out loud. Because if we are being truly honest, when you look closely at the whole arrangement, it can become genuinely difficult to say who exactly is keeping whom. Consider it from their side for just a moment. There is a creature in your home whose every meal arrives without fail, prepared and served by somebody else, whose comfort is attended to almost constantly, who is groomed and warmed and protected and adored and asked for very nearly nothing in return. Who can summon a full-grown human with a single look or a single cry to open a door or fill a bowl or provide a warm and welcoming lap upon demand? When you put it in quite that way, one does begin to wonder whether our animals think of themselves as our pets at all. Perhaps, in their minds, it is really the other way around. Perhaps your cat, gazing down at you serenely from the very top of the sofa, is not thinking that it belongs to you. Perhaps it is thinking, with a deep and quiet satisfaction, that you belong to it. And the truly funny thing is, it may not be entirely wrong. So, do animals know they are pets? After everything that we have seen, the answer, in the end, is a gentle and rather beautiful no. They do not know that they are pets. They do not understand ownership or possession or the strange human idea that one living creature can belong to another. But do not for a moment mistake this for a lack of understanding. Because what they know instead is so much greater and so much truer than any of that. They may not know that they are owned, but they know that they are safe. They may not know that they are kept, but they know that they are home. They do not understand that they belong to us in the cold and formal language of the world, but they understand with their whole hearts that they belong with us, which is the only kind of belonging that has ever really mattered. So the very next time you look at the animal asleep at your feet and you find yourself wondering whether it knows just what it is, let the question gently go, because it already knows, the only thing that truly counts. It does not think of itself as your pet, and it does not think of you as its owner. In the simple, wordless wisdom of its heart, it knows the far deeper truth, that you are not its master. You are its family, and it was never really yours to keep. It was only, ever, yours to love. If this has touched your heart today, then you already understand the quiet bond we have been speaking of. So tell us, in the comments below, do you think your animal sees you as its owner, as its parent, as its family, or perhaps, if we are all being honest, as its loyal and devoted servant? We would truly love to hear how you see it, and we read every single one. There is nothing more delightful than this community sharing the wonderful, mysterious minds of the animals we love. And if you would like more gentle journeys into what our animals think and feel and understand about the world and about us, then subscribe and stay close, because there is so much more waiting just ahead. Thank you for being here with us today. And tonight, look at them not as something you own, but as someone you love, because that is all they have ever seen in you. To them, you are the whole world.